saying to yourself, damn, what is going on here?
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
Caitlin Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, Caitlin to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging money for years.
It's actually to drive revenue so we can give the players extra income opportunities. I had to educate the players. They're like, good, 75 million divided by 140.
Caitlin Clark's arrival in the WNBA has been nothing short of spectacular. The former Iowa star has transformed the league, bringing in new fans and boosting ratings. But with her early exit from the playoffs, questions are starting to emerge about the league's future.
On the court.
Because at the end of the day, with her WNBA rookie season complete, let's see it. Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA.
When Clark joined the Indiana Fever, things changed fast. The team went from having the lowest attendance to the highest, with an average of 17,000 fans per game. That's a huge jump from just 4,200 the year before. Other teams even had to move their games against the Fever to bigger arenas to fit all the fans.
Straight game for the Fever with 40 or more points in the paint. That would be basket 44, courtesy of Caitlin Clark's 13th assist, just reading the defense so well.
Howard blocked by Ball.
TV ratings shot up too. Clark's first WNBA game was the most watched in 23 years, with 2.2 million viewers. Overall, WNBA games on ESPN saw a 170% increase in viewers compared to last season. This led to a massive new TV deal worth $2.2 billion.
You have to scale, and ultimately expansion had always been on my list. But we didn't want to rush into it because we wanted new owners, like new ownership groups. Anyone who knows sports here knows, like, it's a slog to be a sports.
But here's where things get tricky. When Clark and the Fever were knocked out of the playoffs early, the WNBA felt it hard. Attendance at later playoff games dropped a lot. TV ratings for games without Clark fell by over 60%, from 2.5 million viewers to just 929,000.
Struggled with physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin Clark said.
But I am upset about
this drop-off has raised some eyebrows. How can the league keep growing if its biggest star isn't playing? Some people are starting to wonder if the WNBA might try to make sure Clark reaches the finals next season. Stephen A. Smith, a well-known sports commentator, said, "You've got to wonder if the WNBA can really afford to lose Clark early again next year. Don't be shocked if there are some questionable calls or advantageous matchups that push her toward the finals." Skip Bayless, another sports personality, added, "The league knows Clark is their golden ticket. Without her, they're going to struggle, so why wouldn't they do everything in their power to keep her in the spotlight?" It's not unheard of for sports leagues to be accused of favoring star players or big market teams. The NBA has faced similar accusations with players like LeBron James. The NFL has been questioned about favoring certain teams in big games to boost ratings. While some might worry about the WNBA favoring Clark, it's important to remember that star power often drives a league's success. If the WNBA finds ways to showcase Clark's talents, it could be a game changer for women's basketball. Think about how the NBA soared to new heights with Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Their stardom brought in millions of new fans and massive revenue. The WNBA might be looking at a similar opportunity with Caitlin Clark. Sure, diehard fans care about fairness, but most casual viewers tune in to see amazing performances from star players. If Clark is leading her team to the finals and breaking records, that's going to attract way more attention than a perfectly balanced league where no one stands out. By putting Clark in the spotlight, the WNBA could grow its overall audience. This increased attention could benefit all players in the long run. As long as the games themselves aren't rigged, a little extra publicity for their brightest star might be just what the WNBA needs to reach the next level. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has tried to address these concerns. She's called Clark a transformative figure, but also said the WNBA is bigger than any one player. Whether that's true or not is something we'll have to wait and see.
Let me clarify first, because it's proxy season, right? No CEO do you just put the base pay in there. You put their bonus, you put their stock options, you put everything. Caitlin has the ability to make up to $500,000 just in WNBA wages this year. So of course they're just looking at a base which is collectively bargained, and actually it's low because she's the #1 pick. She'll make a little more than that. But you got to build, you have to scale, and ultimately expansion had always been on my list. But we didn't want to rush into it because we wanted new owners, like new ownership groups. Anyone who knows sports here knows, like, it's a slog to be a sports owner. It's actually to drive revenue so we can give the players extra income opportunities. I had to actually educate the players. They're like, good, $75 million divided by 144, pay us.
As Clark gets ready for her second season, all eyes will be on her and the Indiana Fever. Will she lead her team to new heights? Or will the league face the same problems if she's knocked out of the playoffs early again? One thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark's success is crucial for the WNBA's growth. How the league handles this pressure will shape its future. So, what do you think? Is the WNBA setting up Caitlin Clark for a final win to save the league? Or will they let the games play out naturally and let her earn a championship on her own? Let us know what you think in the comments. This situation raises some big questions about sports, fairness, and the power of star players. It's not just about Caitlin Clark or the WNBA. It's about how leagues balance the need for exciting, marketable stars with the integrity of the game. The WNBA is at a crossroads. They have a chance to capitalize on Caitlin Clark's popularity and potentially reach new heights. Whatever happens, the 2025 WNBA season is sure to be interesting. Will Caitlin Clark lead her team to the finals? Will other stars step up and capture the public's attention? Or will the league find a way to spread the spotlight around? One thing's for certain, the eyes of the sports world will be watching closely. The decisions made in the coming months could shape the future of women's basketball for years to come.
Clark, hammer.
That's right.
Is being reviewed for a possible upgrade to a flagrant.
I think it'll be upgraded here. And, she gets her really hard there.
Every Superman needs a villain. And while this holds true in sports as well, the narrative around rivalries often gets distorted. Just look at Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, two of the stars of this year's WNBA draft class. And according to one analyst, these two rookies are comparable to two of the biggest stars in the entertainment industry.
And Angel Reese knows a ring is coming.
Clark and Reese have been playing against each other since their high school days, but it's the 2023 NCAA tournament and then the Indiana Fever's first clash of the season with the Chicago Sky that's most memorable. Drawing some of the highest numbers of viewers women's basketball has seen, Clark and Reese were the main attraction. And Carrie Champion says on Naked Sports' latest podcast,
Angel Reese has a responsibility that so many people in this country will never truly be able to understand. It's been a young black woman in America with a lot of talent, and you're not afraid to speak your mind.
What's so sad to me is the way that people use Caitlin Clark as like a stand-in for their own political beliefs and insecurities. Let these women play ball.
I believe that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese live at that intersection of sports, culture, and politics. I also believe their impact is truly invaluable to the WNBA and beyond. I'll liken it to Beyonce and Taylor Swift. Those two women are arguably two of the most powerful women in music. And I believe when it's all said and done, the same will be true for Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Stay tuned for the next episode of Making of the Rivalry. Talk to you then.
The perceived rivalry that exists between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is also akin to the rivalry narrative that exists between Taylor Swift and Beyonce.
Thank you so much for giving me a chance to win a VMA award.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
While T-Swift and Queen Bee are two of those artists whose music transcends borders, some may portray a rivalry between them. The comparison of the two stadium tours this summer was a popular instance. Just as the Lover singer calls it unfair, adding pit two women against each other, Even when those two artists in question refuse to participate in that discussion, what Champion says is that let two successful women exist within the same arena with their own achievements. There is enough space. USA Today via Reuters. Let's see what Champion said on CNN.
I think the story of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, the rivalry, which really isn't a bad rivalry or a true rivalry on the court, is a good thing. I understand that both of these young ladies, and I'll relate it to the race in just one moment. Both of these young ladies were already defined, and they already had to play roles before they even stepped on the court.
As she compares Clark and Reese to arguably two of the most famous women on the planet, Susie Exposito points out on the podcast, I think with these very public rivalries that happen to be like vicariously lived through fans, I think that there are a lot of parallels between someone like Taylor Swift and Caitlin Clark. Where Swift calls Beyoncé a gem, Clark and Reese have their own way of showing respect to each other. No hate, we're going to play on the same team one day, I'm sure, the Chicago Sky star admitted on her podcast last month. The two have often iterated that they respect each other and are competitive for sure, but any unhealthy rivalry is only an outside perception. When the LSU Tigers defeated the Iowa Hawkeyes at the 2023 NCAA tournament, Angel Reese pointed to her ring finger and mimicked Caitlin Clark's "You Can't See Me" celebration. Suddenly, everyone was interested in watching women's basketball for these two as a fierce rivalry was born, and Shea Ralph can't help but think it's a good thing. Clark had even called out the media regarding the same in one of the post-game interviews. Let's see what Clark said.
When you get flagrant foul by Angel Reese, what's going through your mind, and how do you just stay within yourself to finish the game?
What's going through my mind is I need to make these 2 free throws. That's all I'm thinking about. It's just a part of basketball. It is what it is. She's trying to make a play on the ball and get the block. But yeah, I mean, it happens. And those free throws, when you have to shoot them with nobody at the line, are kind of hard. So it's a little different than having people at the line. So I was just trying to focus on making those.
Caitlin Clark's response shows her good sportsmanship and maturity in dealing with competition. Let's see what Reese said.
Caitlin Clark is a hell of a player for sure. But I don't take disrespect lightly. And she disrespected Alexis and my girls. South Carolina, they still my SEC girls too. But y'all not gonna disrespect them either. So I wanted to pick her pocket, but I had a moment at the end of the game, and I was in my bag. I was in my moment. Yeah.
I appreciate Angel Reese's passion, but it's disappointing to see disrespect overshadow such incredible talent on the court. Let's see what Stephen A. Smith said.
Ladies and gentlemen, I love Caitlin Clark. She's been a guest on this show. I think she's spectacular. I'm the one that's been calling her the Steph Curry of women's basketball, and she has done nothing to push that back. I mean, this young lady is spectacular. She's been great for women's basketball overall, not just college basketball, but women's basketball. I think she has the potential, when all is said and done, to be arguably the greatest ever. Because
Stephen A. Smith is right. Caitlin is truly spectacular and has the potential to be one of the greatest in women's basketball.
Next level, and it's going to be spectacular to see, and I can't wait to see it. But here's the reality of the situation. She instigated this kind of stuff. Let's call it what it is. She was waving. She was doing the Cena. How about what she did to Raven Johnson? She didn't just go into the lane and not guard her against South Carolina in the national semifinal. She waved her off. She didn't mind being disrespectful. So why is it that we're hesitant to bring that up? See, here's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to dilute your point.
Agree with Stephen A. Smith that it's unfair how some people celebrate her competitiveness while criticizing others for the same thing. But while the discourse around them gets a little heated, Vanderbilt's women's basketball coach believes it is bringing eyes to the sport. Per the Tennessean, Vanderbilt's women's basketball coach said, "It's part of growing, and the positive is that I don't think attention can be bad. As long as you're not doing bad things and that's not happening, then having eyes on you is a good thing." So there's high-level competition, there's jawing back and forth, there's women that want to win and prepare to win, there's great coaching. I mean, who wouldn't want to watch that? It's awesome. I love it. Caitlin Clark's exit from the WNBA marks the end of an era, but the rivalry with Angel Reese will forever be etched in sports history, fueling debates and igniting passions among fans. As both athletes carve their paths, the echoes of their fierce battles on the court continue to resonate, leaving a lasting impact on women's basketball.
Welcome to NBA Today. I'm Malika Andrews. We start our show in the W, where Caitlin Clark has just been named the 2024 Rookie of